Well, YouTube, I'm currently in my cyan hammock looking at the disco ball, and it turns out that a tighter beam can also determine whether the disco ball creates more of a sparkling effect, and that's what I did. I'll show you all in another video later on how to unscrew the top lens of a disco ball, but not take it all the way off, but loosen it just enough to get a sparkle effect, or to get the beam that we're supposed to have for a mirror ball, because you don't want the beam to be too big, but you want it to eclipse most of the disco ball to where it shines on at least most of it. But it actually is a tight enough beam, so if I stand up here, if I get up out of the cyan hammock, stand up right here, that is really cool. It's a really cool effect. I have it set on white right now because that's where you get most of it anyway. If I come over here, you also get the effect. Well, as long as I'm not standing in front of the spotlight, you actually get the effect as well. Now this is kind of cool because you actually get more of a sparkling effect. Now I actually like it when it does kind of spin slow. That's pretty cool. Kind of makes it sparkle a little bit. Let me go ahead and give it just a tad bit more of a spin. There we go. So if you just look up there, well, it's kind of in a circle right now, but when it slows down, you'll see more of a sparkle effect. Just like that. You can also see some of the lights down there. Not that many. There's lights on the back wall right there, on the wall right here, on the wall over here. There's the spotlight right there. Now you can see where the sparkles are. Wait for it to slow down a little bit, but you can definitely see how it sparkles a little bit. It's best if you look all the way up with it. Now that is a sparkle effect. You can even see it over here. Now that is what I like about a tighter beam too, is because it doesn't always cast like that on the shadow. Let me just spin it just a tad. Now over here, you can still see the beam is not as tight. The beam is not as big, but it's tight like it should be. So there it is right there. So if I had the spotlight out here and it was aiming up the disco ball like straight up, that's what it would look like. And it actually looks like there's a spotlight on the ceiling, so that's pretty cool. So that is basically how spotlight orientation, this is basically part 2 right here, how that also influences the way a disco ball looks, how tight your beam should be. Man, just look at that. Just look at that. So yeah, that's basically it right there. How tight should your beam be when you're using a disco ball, and should it be any tight? Should you turn your screw thing all the way in on your spotlight? Well, you actually should not. You should have it loose as far out as it'll go, but you don't want to take the whole thing off, the whole lens, because the spotlight that I have does have a screwable lens. So the best way to do it is just loosen your screw out as much as it'll go, but make sure it's still in, because you do want a tighter beam on your disco ball, well, on your light, just that way it gets the effect that you're looking for. And over here, you can kind of see down there, there's not that many beams, but basically up on the wall is where you'll get most of it. Actually, you do kind of get a little bit of the beam down there. Yeah, right down there you get a little bit. But up on the walls, the ceiling, you get more of a beam. The disco ball is spinning quite fast. That is pretty cool. And if you're under it, if you're like way under it, that's what it looks like. And then you come back, that's what it looks like right there. So that's basically it right there. So basically, to get the best effect possible, you do want to unscrew the lens on the spotlight a little bit to where it's out a little more, and that's where you can get your focal point of how you want the beam to be. Right now I have it set at the tightest as I possibly can get. So there we go. That's it. That is how to set your lens focus on your spotlight to get the best effect from a disco ball. Thanks for watching, and more to come later.